So in this lecture, you are going to be learning about some of the Sumerian inventions, some things that people living in Sumer, part of Mesopotamia, invented a long time ago. They were some pretty clever people. And since they were, kind of one of the first groups of people to settle down and live in one place, they had some different problems or needs that previously as a nomad maybe they didn't have. So they invented a myriad or a variety of things to make their lives better. So here we have pictures of a lot of their inventions. So first of all, the wheel. That would be extremely helpful. It's interesting to note that early civilizations in North and South America actually never invented the wheel. But the Sumerians sure did. They also invented lots of hand tools like axes, hammers, plows. Plows are a type of farming tool, and since they were the first farmers, that certainly makes sense. Those other tools would just be helpful, maybe farming, building a house. They also invented cosmetic sets. That's right, things like makeup, powder, things to make yourself look prettier. They made sailboats so they could travel around and go fishing and maybe see other places. Here we have a little picture of, or a stone carving of a man playing a harp. They invented the harp. The razor. Men actually started to shave their beard or parts of their facial hair in Mesopotamia. And then finally we have an ancient frying pan here. So pause and take a note. They also had a mathematical system based on the number 60. So can you think of what we have in our society today that is based on the number 60? Well, if you're looking at that picture right there, of course you've got it. We have how many minutes in an hour? 60. And how many seconds are in each of those minutes? 60. Well, the reason that our clocks work that way is because it goes back to the ancient Mesopotamians or the Sumerians who had their mathematical system based on the number 60, unlike how we have ours based on the number 10. Pause, take a note. There's some English words we have that date all the way back to Mesopotamia too, such as crocus, which is a type of cute little flower there, and saffron, which is a type of spice. Pause and take a note. Perhaps one of the most important inventions of the Sumerians is a form of written language known as cuneiform. So, their written language actually began as pictographs, which basically just means a small picture for everything. Of course, this is not what their pictographs look like. It's just for an example. But let's say we have this pictograph here. That is a picture of a picnic table. So, anytime ever, if I'm writing something and I want to reference a picnic table, I have to draw that little symbol. Well, that worked out for them for a while, but it got a little cumbersome every time you have to draw a whole little picture that only means one thing. So these ancient clever Sumerians started to adapt how those pictographs work, and instead they started making these kind of wedge-shaped symbols that first of all were just easier to make, and they could mean different things or be put together in different ways to mean different things. And this language is known as cuneiform. And we know a lot about the ancient Sumerians because of these written records that they left behind in stone and in clay. So if you're writing something that maybe doesn't need to be kept for a long time. Maybe it's just a list of groceries. Or maybe you wrote something and then you realized, oh my gosh, I messed this up terribly. I need to just redo it. Well, if you're doing it in clay, before it dries, you would just wipe it clean. Now, if it's something that's more important, like maybe the list of kings in your society that you want to keep around for a long time, you would of course then just let the clay dry. Okay, pause, take a note. Okay, cuneiform became a written language possibly as early as 5000 BC. So it's been around for a long time. And some of the things we learned about the Sumerians from cuneiform is lists of household items, lists of court activities, lists of sales and purchases, lists of kings. So we really do know a fair about them. Pause and take a note. And although we have learned a lot about these ancient people from the written records they've left behind, there's still a lot that we don't know. A lot that we don't know that is actually written in cuneiform, because cuneiform was used for so long and by lots of people who were different, who were maybe from different kingdoms. Like after Acadia fell, then there were different people living there or under a different ruler, but they still used cuneiform. And after thousands of years, it sort of changed a little bit, and different symbols started to mean different things. And so when archaeologists find some cuneiform tablets now, it's really exciting, but a lot of it we are not able to decipher yet. Of course, they're working on it, but there's probably lots more that we can learn once people do figure out how to read some of those cuneiform tablets. So pause and take your last note there.